Hey everybody, my name is Ashley and welcome back to my home. Today we're doing a bunch of different kitchen projects. We've got a few different things already started and now I'm going to get going on some homemade mustard. I have been really wanting to try to make some homemade mustard again ever since we tried to gift it for Christmas probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. We got all of the mustard mixed up, we followed all the recipes, and right before we got it canned, we tasted it and it was absolutely horrible. Nothing we could add to it would make it taste like anything we would want to gift to people. So we actually ended up just dumping it. I didn't realize at the time I had already dumped it when I discovered that mustard actually needs to cure on the shelf after it's been canned, similar to how pickles need to cure. So here I am again trying to give it a try. And first I'm just going to try a basic recipe, a small recipe, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. Okay, so real quick, on this mustard, we need to get a few things going the night before. So I've got out my mustard seed, my vinegar, and a little bit of water and salt. And I'm gonna go ahead and get those mixed up in this big jar here, and we'll let those sit overnight. So I got my clean mason jar, clean funnel, my water, which is already measured out at 2/3 cup. Got my vinegar. 2 teaspoons of salt, and I know typically I don't normally measure, but when I can, I like to be a little bit more accurate, so I make sure I measure. And then I've got each my brown and my yellow mustard seed, half a cup of each of those. Thought I was pretty accurate, and it looks like I am. Oh yeah. Now what's going to happen is overnight these will soak up the liquid and be ready to put through the food processor or mixer tomorrow. Go ahead and give these a little stir. Get that salt to get incorporated into the water and vinegar. So these seeds will double, if not triple in size tonight while they soak up the vinegar, salt water. And then in the morning, they'll be ready for the food processor and we'll get into a nice thick, kind of creamy consistency for mustard, and we'll get it canned up. Now here we are the next day with all of the mustard seeds kind of soaked up. They almost are like chia seeds and they almost look a little gelatinous, but here is everything, and we're going to get these mixed up in the food processor. To blend these until they're really well incorporated in a really good thickness. Really good, and we'll stop it part way here so you can kind of see what's happening here. It's starting to thicken. Still lots of whole seeds, so we still want to keep going for quite a while here on the mixing. Now, when this is done mixing, there will still be chunks of the whole seeds, and that's okay. We kind of like it like that, and I think that's how this recipe was intended to be. Okay, I've got all this stuff ready and laid out to start the canning of the mustard. I'm going to go through all the details in just a minute. I'm not going to have this be a super technical canning video. If you'd like me to do something more technical on the very specific process to use when going through canning, I can do that. Just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through and show the process to get this mustard all canned up. So the things I have is my canning funnel, jar tongs, the mustard, of course. I have enough jars, rings, and lids to do 8 jars, but I'm guessing I'm not going to fill them all. I like to always have everything a little bit I like to have extra washed up rather than have to wash more along the way, because I make sure to do a really good job of washing and sanitizing everything. I have some water starting to heat up in the canner. This is a Presto pressure canner, but you can also water bath can in it, which is great. And I've actually gotten rid of my water bath canner because I can use this for both. Now, because these jars are so small, these are 1/4 pint jars, so they hold 1/2 cup. My water level is way down there. And when everything is in, when the jars are in, you want the water to be 1 to 2 inches above that. And then I have a little kettle of water going over here. Again, usually I use a bigger kettle, but because these jars are so small, my littlest one will be just fine. And this is just to sanitize the jars one last time right before I fill them and get them in the canner. I did actually completely forget that I need to heat this up. So I got it in a saucepan, gonna get it going to a nice little boil, maybe cook it for about 5 minutes before I load the jars. And also I did add a little turmeric. I felt like that might add some nice color, and it did. It took it from more of like a beige brown to a nice yellowish. I also felt that it was a little thick, and it still now seems quite thick. I did add a little bit more water, a little bit more vinegar, and I wasn't too concerned about adding those things and changing the recipe because I added enough vinegar to offset any water that I added. And water, of course, is one of those acidic things that's used to keep it safe as a preserved food. So I just peeked inside the canner, and as you can tell, it's kind of rumbling and rattling a little bit. That can be an indicator that the boiling might be happening, and I peeked, and sure enough it is. So now that it's at a good boil, I will turn it down to a medium-high heat so it's not just like raging the whole time, and set a timer for about 15 minutes. And then once that 15 minutes is done, we'll take the lid off, pull it off the burner, let it cool down for 5 minutes, and then we'll take the jars out of the water. Okay, it's the next day on this mustard. I apologize for the noise. We just have the broth in the pressure canner here. So this is the mustard from yesterday that we canned, and I went ahead and took the rings off, gave them a wash with warm soapy water. The reason I did that is because sometimes this can get sticky from things that seep out while the thing is being canned. One time I actually thought that we had a bunch of peaches that were molding because there was mold literally growing on the outside of the jar, and all I had to do was wash them. Instead, I thought they were spoiling, so I ended up throwing them out. So now, no matter what I make, no matter what it feels like, I always wash my jars after I get those rings off, ready for storage. And then the other thing I'm going to do is label these with what it is, and then also the date, so that I know how long I need to wait for this to cure and be ready to eat. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll let you know how the mustard tastes when it's done curing. And if you found this video useful, please consider liking and subscribe if you would like to see more of what comes out of my kitchen. Thanks and have a great day.